Welcome to the Sports Bros Podcast, featuring the Almighty B-Live, the Money Man, Scottie D, and your host, the head of creative, Eddy Kool. And without any further ado, here they are, the Sports Bros. What's going on, world? This be your boy, Eddy Kool, a.k.a. the HOC. And guess what? We're back. Too bad the Texas Longhorns can't say that. But anyways, this is another edition of the Sports Bros Podcast. Just to let you know, we had some technical difficulties last week, and the show got preempted. We couldn't get it to you. But guess what, though? When you ain't got no technical difficulties, everybody survived Dorian. Shout out to anybody that was affected by Dorian. Our thoughts and prayers out to you. And shout out to the ones that survived Dorian as well, too. And we are here with episode 25 of the Sports Bros Podcast. I'm not going to waste too much time. And joining me, as always, is the Almighty B-Live.
What's happening? What's going on? Man, I missed my bros. It's been 2 weeks. It's been that storm that was or wasn't, rain, and then we bring in a full weekend of football, a full weekend of college and pro football. I am on sensory overload. But like I said, we're going to get into it. We're going to introduce that other guy that we're so lucky to have, and such, and he's going to say something about the Cowboys and God bless America. But yeah, I digress. Eddy Kool, go ahead and do your thing, man.
And as always, Mr. Wonderful, the Cowboy himself, the Money Man, Scottie D.
God bless America's team.
Oh, dear sweet
One
mother
down,
of God.
15 to go for the undefeated Cowboys.
Oh.
Greetings, bros. I missed you last week, too. And to all our listeners, all apologies. It was a crazy week with the hurricane deal. And Eddy Kool had some traveling to do. And just things were a little bit out of whack last week, a little bit out of sync. But we are glad to be back, man. There's a lot to get to. And thanks for hanging with us and sticking with us. And hopefully you'll enjoy this episode because we have a lot to say regarding the NFL. Let's do it.
We got some making up to do, and we're back, just like bad breath in the morning. All right. And with that being said, let's kind of get back on track to where we left off last week. We had our divisional picks and previews and our Super Bowl picks and winners as well, too. So, all right, we're going to go through it real quick. We're not going to take too much time to opine on it. You can check out the previous episodes to figure out what we said and why we said and to get to this point. And Scottie D, I'll go with you first.
All right. Let's see. I went with we on the air already. We had done some predictions, and I took the Cowboys to win the division and Eagles as a wild card. Last week, we didn't get to air this, but I picked the Rams to win their division. I took the Falcons to win the division. That was one we did on the air with the Saints to be the wild card team out of that division. And who am I missing? What division am I missing? Oh, I picked the Packers, I believe.
Okay, yeah,
The Packers to win that. Yeah, and I thought that the Bears were going to fall short. And actually, based on one game, knee-jerk reaction, that looks like I might have had something there. So then I picked the Steelers to win their division over the Browns, although I did see fit to give the Browns a wild card. I picked the Chiefs to win that division with the Chargers getting a wild card. And then, of course, the Patriots and the Texans to win their two divisions. And my Super Bowl picks, I went with the rematch of last year with the Patriots and the Rams, with the Rams being the winner this year. Those were my Super Bowl picks. And, week one, you want to second guess, but guys, it's week one. And I saw a statistic yesterday on ESPN where they showed 5 games last year where the winning team did not make the playoffs and the losing team did. So there's a long way to go. you can't really do a whole lot of judging based on week 1. But those are my preseason picks. Those are what we were going to air last week and didn't quite get to them. But that's where I stood going into the first week. Be Live, how about you? What you got?
Well, I'm definitely judging. I can always judge. That's what I do. But it's
Fair enough.
but always my Super Bowl pick. See, I'm at a quandary right now because so much happened in the past couple of weeks that leads my mind to change what I put. But I'm going to stick to my guns. I put Kansas City in the Super Bowl in the AFC, and I was going to put the New Orleans Saints in the Super Bowl in the NFC. Third time's a charm. Are you kidding me? The Saints should have been in the Super Bowl the past couple of seasons.
Robbery.
Yo, so I'm telling you, third time's a charm with that. And that is so tough to say as a diehard Panthers fan. But you know what? I'm a realist, unlike somebody on this podcast, because you just swear up and down the Cowboys are just going to do it. But I digress just a little bit. NFC West, I was definitely going to put the Rams in there. NFC North, I was going to put the Bears in there. For the AFC West, it was going to be Kansas City in there. And was it the AFC North? I was going to put the Browns in there. Pittsburgh being a wild card and the Chargers being a wild card. And I think my wild card for the NFC, both are going to come out of the NFC South with Carolina and Atlanta picking up the wild cards in the NFC. Now, with that being said, because you say that week 1 doesn't matter, I beg to differ because some teams showed up and some teams didn't. And I'm going to pass it back to Eddy Kool because he's gonna drive this bus. He's going to drive this train. He's the conductor. Handle it. Let's do it.
Let's see if I can throw a no-look pass like Patrick Mahomes. And if I miss it, I owe one of you guys or both of you guys lunch, like he does Travis Kelce. All right, let's see. The NFC South, like I said before, it'll be we'll probably have 2 teams coming out of that division. The Saints and the Panthers. Falcons I don't know as much. And then the NFC East is the Cowboys. What can I say? It's the Cowboys. The Eagles will be fighting. The NFC North, it'll be the Chicago Bears. It's early. The Chicago Bears, Mitchell Trubisky, he'll get it together eventually. The West is for the Rams to lose. Let's see, did I miss the division?
No, you got it for it.
Okay.
Sound about right.
I got him. Okay, because I have a tendency to miss stuff. Let's see, and coming out of the NFC, let me see, the championship game will be the Rams and the Saints, and the Saints will best the Rams. So that's the Rams. The Saints coming out of the NFC. And then in the AFC, let's see, we got the Patriots winning the East. Winning the West is Kansas City. San Diego will get the wild card. In the NFC North, I'm going to go out on a limb and say Baltimore might do it. And it might be a dogfight between Cleveland and Pittsburgh. So with that being said, it's going to be the Patriots and the Saints in the Super Bowl. Oh, and did we mention that the Patriots got some guy named Antonio Brown?
Do we?
I got a little something for that a little bit later in the show. Yeah.
Are we doing that? Are we doing that later, or do we just need to go ahead and dive in it now? Let's talk about some of the games that actually happened, and then we'll come back to the.
Sounds good.
Yeah. That.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the events that were on the field and not the people that were off the field.
And Eddy Kool, just want to throw in there, it's the Los Angeles Chargers, not San Diego anymore. Just want to throw that in there. You know, we all want to do it. Like, it still don't make any sense. It should be the San Diego. It's like, go Chargers, go. How did Arnold Schwarzenegger say it?
Go Chargers, go.
Yeah. The San Diego Superchargers. That's what that's how it's supposed to be. But You know,
Yeah.
that's what they do. They done moved on us. But yeah, go ahead. That's
I like when I played Madden and you scored and he'd be like San Diego Supercharged. Oh, that was great. Oh, that was great. All right, week 1. Guess what? We got some football. The games that count. COUNT count. The games that are real. No more preseason. No more seeing scrubs and everybody. And games that have relevance and that matters. First off, we're gonna talk about. Let's see. Let's look at this week 1 schedule here. The Raven. Blah, 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 3, 2. 3, 2, 1. The Ravens just, I don't want to say handled the Dolphins. I don't want to say beat the Dolphins. I don't want to say thumped the Dolphins. They destroyed the Dolphins. Sorry, Rodney. Sorry, Cliff. But it is what it is. 59-10, and Lamar Jackson scores 5 touchdowns. Ooh, wee. And they said he's a running back. And after the press conference, he said, hey, not too bad for a running back. Jam. Gotcha.
This game was a statement game for the Dolphins. They came right out and said, we are not going to be denied the number 1 pick in the draft next year. And you can watch us and see our fury. We are going for it. We are going for Tua. Statement game by the Dolphins.
And rumor has it after the game, some of the players got in contact with their agents like, look, we got to get the hell up out of here. we got to go. I've never heard of that after week 1. So, Cliff, Rodney, the race for Tua begins today.
but let me throw in my little. I'm gonna throw in a little piece about that game. For anybody out there that are Ravens fans, y'all are the most disrespectful thing I've ever seen watching professional football. And I say this real quick. Up 35-3 and you fake a punt?
Yeah.
35-3 and you fake a punt?
No lead is safe in the NFL.
And then they were up 52-10 and went for it on 4th and goal? What? Y'all wanted to embarrass the Dolphins. Who said something about somebody's mama? But I just want to throw that out there. My jaw hit the ground when I saw that. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
But why? But that is it. All right,
yeah. RG3 even got some burn in that game too. So that's how wild that game was. The Browns, yes, the Cleveland Browns, new look, new who this Browns. They lose to the stout Tennessee Titans in Cleveland, 43-13. I thought this game was going to be a little bit more competitive than what it was, but the Browns did themselves no favors. Penalties. Every 2 to 3 plays, penalties, and penalties didn't help. And they aggravated Baker all day, and Delaney Walker said, "You know what? We came in here and we beat them because you know what? They are who we thought they were. You got to play football." And shout out to and Delaney Walker, he had a good game too. And the Titans, man, that stout defense, man, I know about them because they helped me win some fantasy football championship last year. But the Browns fall to the Titans 43-13. Any comments on that, fellas?
Just disappointment for the Browns fans because after last season they came into the season with so much hope. And this was the day that they were waiting for a long time, and they laid an egg. But, the Browns still have a wealth of talent. It's the first week, and a lot of things go wrong in the first week for young teams. And I still think they get this thing back on track. I really do.
For me, I guess Odell Beckham was wearing a $250,000 watch on the field.
Stupid.
Yeah, but I mean, that was my takeaway. No, on the real, that's the beautiful thing about when the whistle blows, when all the talk ends and the product comes on the field. Scott, I agree with you that is not the tail of the season. But man, oh man, the amount of disappointment, Eddy Kool, you had to have felt it in the city of Cleveland because they did not show up.
Yeah, I saw the sentiment all across Facebook, and I'm over here like, man, you mean to tell me I'm in this house, game week 1. I got the whole entire day off from work, so I said, you know what, I'm not gonna do nothing but just watch football, eat pizza, play fantasy football, and just see what's going on. I thought I was gonna, I thought the Browns were gonna put on a show, and they got put out by the doggone Tennessee Titans. Kansas City defeats Jacksonville 40-26, and then Clemson alum Sammy Watkins goes off. 9 receptions for 198 yards and 3 touchdowns. On the other side, Jacksonville loses Nick Foles to a broken clavicle. He's going to be out for a while.
Is it Gardner Minshew?
Yes, Gardner Minshew from Washington State.
Yeah. So Kansas City doing Kansas City things. Patrick Mahomes, I think he had 375 yards passing, 3 touchdowns.
Yep.
And because Tyreek Hill went out with an injury as well. And what was the nature of his injury? I don't remember.
I think it was something to do with the shoulder that affected.
Yeah, same thing, collarbone, I think.
Yeah, she had collarbone.
I don't think it was. I don't know if it was a break because they're saying weeks, but yeah, he's going to be out for several weeks. It may have also been a clavicle. I'm not sure.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a collarbone that affected, also impacted his chest, and he had to go to the hospital that very night. So, that's the thing about week 1 football, man. That's the good thing and the bad thing about it. People win, people lose, and then people get hurt, and they're out for prolonged periods of time. But for fantasy owners, that Tyreek Hill loss.
Yeah, don't talk about it. I don't want to. No, don't do that. Don't do that.
Scottie D sounds like B-Live got Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, in the multiple leagues. Yeah, I'm hurting. I'm be all right though. I'm be all right. I think I still got a chance this week in our league that we got going on. But the fact of the matter that Tyreek Hill goes out and Sammy Watkins steps right up and is the Sammy Watkins that I know that he can be. And just want to throw out there that I didn't bring it up. You did, that he is a Clemson alum, and hashtag all roads lead to Dabo. We made it. Well, I think we made it we're at the 25-minute mark, but this is including our little pregame ritual. So I'm gonna say this about 16, 17 minutes.
17 minutes into the show. Yep.
I like it. All roads bleed orange. All in. The reigning, defending, undisputed. I digress. Let's get the train. All
right. The Amtrak is back on the tracks. Rams, they barely escaped Carolina 30-27, and then Scottie D's Dallas Cowboys runs over the New York Giants 35-17, and they get Zeke back. And guess what? Zeke scores in his first game back. And speaking of scoring in their first game back, good old reliable Jason Witten scores a touchdown as well too. Scottie D, how about your Cowboys? How about them?
How about them Cowboys? Thank you for setting that one up, putting that one on the tee for me. Yeah, I mean, if you're a Cowboy fan like I am, you couldn't be any happier with the way that went yesterday on Sunday afternoon. The big thing that the Cowboys fans griped and groaned about, myself included, the last several years was the play calling. So they scrapped the offensive coordinator Linehan last year and went with Kellen Moore. And I thought, judging on one game, there's a lot to be excited about. He played to Dak's strengths. He was calling high percentage passes. He wasn't predictable as last year. Honestly, no exaggeration. Me and the guys that I watched the games with would just sit there and call the plays and watch them happen as we called them. This was nice yesterday. I mean, 1 week, when we're not expecting big things from the Giants, but it was definitely encouraging as a Cowboy fan to see what went on Sunday.
Despite all that went on during the offseason, it's kind of like Sunday, hey, doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
Don't sue me, Queen, please don't, because I ain't got no money. Yeah, kind of like doesn't even matter as soon as you sign Zeke, and I'm pretty sure Dak's going to want his money. He's probably going to want more money after this.
Oh, Dak and Cooper were connecting on Sunday.
Yes.
And you could just hear the cash register in Jerry's head going off because he was losing money by the completion on Sunday. But yeah, he'll gladly pay it if it means getting them back to the promised land. But they honestly looked pretty good. The defense had a hiccup early, and then were pretty stout the rest of the day. But again, it's week one. You know, I'm not ready to order the ring yet, but I am encouraged with what I saw yesterday.
He said, order the ring.
What? You spent weeks, months talking about the Cowboys going to go 16-0 and win the Super Bowl. Now you go into week one.
Listen, Mr. Backtrack. Did you hear my Super Bowl prediction 5 minutes ago? I picked the Rams to win the Super Bowl.
I heard what you said, but I heard you. But I just want to make sure, because we have had to listen to this Dallas Cowboy rhetoric, and now you want to come back to earth actually after they had a good game. So the realism is setting in.
You picked them to go 12-4, then change it to 8-8. After yesterday, you want me to give me a couple wins back there?
All right. Come on, old man. Check in. I said, and I'm gonna do you justice. I said 13-3 and then 9-7. So,
okay.
All right.
Oh, give me a couple wins back there, Junior.
I'm like
rolling, baby.
Oh my goodness. But I want to say this: Jerry Jones gave Zeke Elliott a Zeke Who T-shirt.
Yeah.
Jesus Lord, you gotta love it. I think
it's actually probably a pretty smart public relations ploy, because that diffused all that had been going on. That you kept hearing that stuff. Jerry said that in jest, obviously, when he said it, and it got taken to another level. You're not going to pay that man that kind of money if you really don't believe in him. And that Zeke Who thing obviously was just a joke, and it got taken to another level. But I think that T-shirt completely diffused that situation and gave everyone a good laugh. So at least those guys were laughing, but I think he gave them too much money. But anyway, moving on from that. But if you're a Cowboy fan today, you're definitely happy.
Yeah, they have every right to be. Every right to be. The Falcons, they just fall flat to the Vikings, 28-12. In the words of the Almighty Be Live, what happened?
Well, one thing that we tend to get caught up in the rhetoric. We tend to look at things at face value, what a team looks like on paper. One thing that we completely forgot when it comes to analyzing a team or whatever, the Minnesota Vikings defense has always been what they've been for the past couple of years, and they definitely showed it this past week. And the Falcons defense is also what the Falcons defense in their secondary and their problems that they have. And I mean, Minnesota took it to them. And I want to go ahead and say this, because you know what, real quick note, DirecTV, get it together. I'm just going to say this because I work at Max Speed Shop here in Fayetteville, North Carolina, 482 North McPherson Church Road. Come holler at a brother, get them good burgers and the best pulled pork and brisket in the world.
Ooh.
But yeah, we could not show the Vikings game because DirecTV blocked it out.
They might have did you a favor, to be honest with you.
But the thing about it is that we pay good money to see all the games. And we came to the conclusion that the game was blacked out because they thought we were in the geographic region of Atlanta, Georgia. What? After multiple phone calls later, we finally got the game on. But yeah, you get it together. Because we got people that's mad at us, and I'm like, I didn't do it. But yeah,
I'm pressing all the buttons. Hit. Call DirecTV, leave me alone.
Right.
Let's see, and not a good look for the Falcons. Not a good look for the Falcons after Julio signed that big old extension, and then the New England Patriots. I mean, the past two games, including Super Bowl, the defense has allowed 6 points. 6 points. 6 freaking points.
And guess who has New England's defense on one of their fantasy leagues? Yeah, boy. The almighty one. Yes, sir.
Yeah, you did, man. You did. And me and a few of my coworkers in my work league, we had a conversation about New England defense. And I don't know, this might be that time where New England has that defense, instead of the old serviceable defense, they might have that defense. So Yeah, the Patriots, they might be dangerous. They are dangerous, and hey, that old Tom Brady might get him another one, and another one might get him another one.
Sick to my freaking stomach. Are you kidding me? Like,
Yeah,
can we talk about it now, or do we still have to wait? Can we
Can we talk about that fella?
Scottie D,
Go for it. I say, yeah, go ahead. Go for it.
Freaking $15 million, $10 million guaranteed, $9 million signing bonus. As soon as he gets released on Saturday at 4:00, teams could sign him again. Freaking Antonio Brown, you've got to be kidding. I called it, and I was so sick when it actually happened. I even told people in my Carolina Panthers group, I said, I'd much rather have him on the Panthers than for him to end up on a team like the Patriots. And it freaking happened. And I'm sorry. They're going to win the Super Bowl. They're going to win it. With that defense, and now you've got, because Josh Gordon looked phenomenal against the Steelers. They just go ahead. Give Brady his 7th ring. They're like, right now, they're looking like the Golden State Warriors of the NFL. But granted, Golden State didn't win this year. They're all, I believe in miracles. But man, right now, I'm going to tell you right now, defense alone, the Patriots win the Super Bowl. I'm not even talking about Tom Brady, Josh Gordon, Antonio Brown, Julian Edelman, N'Keal Harry. They even released Demaryius Thomas. I was like, what? Good Lord.
Did it release him, or is he still on the team?
No, he's coming back, though.
What? He's coming back?
That was a contract thing, I think, but he's hurt and going to be back with them, too. So there's more depth for you.
Yeah. And not to mention the PPR god himself, James White.
Yeah, I mean,
this is ridiculous. This is crazy. What the hell is going on?
James White, Sony Michel, and I mean, like, I don't like it. I just don't like it.
When's the last time we ever seen a team this damn stacked?
I don't know.
Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, that.
They got KD.
Yeah, well, they got KD, but like from a football standpoint, when's the last time because the Cowboys were stacked when they had their run. Now we got the Patriots, they're stacked, when they're going on this amazing 20+ year run. I can't think of another team that was so damn stacked. This is moving right along.
Yeah, this is that. Yeah.
Let me chime in on this for a minute, if you don't mind, because this whole situation with Antonio Brown kind of bothered me here this past week. And I'll tell you, there's 2 guys I lost a lot of respect for this week. One was John Gruden, and one was Bill Belichick. And let me just get into that. If you're a Patriots fan, please listen to this objectively and not smugly, like, haha, we pulled a coup on here. Just be objective with me here for just the next 2 minutes here. But when you're the Patriots, people are going to hate you like they hate Alabama and Duke basketball and the Yankees just because you win a lot and you're on top. That's just the nature of the beast. That's how it goes. Antonio Brown whined about a helmet, his feet. He was causing nothing but commotion with Oakland. And he got fined, rightfully so, by the general manager. The general manager, Baaaack, was doing his job when he fined him. This man, Antonio Brown, gets in his general manager's face, a public, a person of authority. He didn't do it behind closed doors. He did it on the practice field in front of people. Called him a cracker, threatened to punch him in the face. Now, listen, when you use the word cracker, that's like, in comparison with the N-word, that is a firecracker compared to a bomb. It's not the same thing. It's just not. As a white dude, I'm not offended really by the word cracker. However, it is a racial slur. He went there racially. He got in the guy's face publicly. He deserved to be fined, and he deserved to be released. John Gruden has a conversation with him. and he records it and puts it out there publicly, a private conversation without permission. John Gruden laughs it off and says it's awesome because he's spineless and wants to have a really talented player on his team. And how does he get rewarded by all this? What are his consequences? He gets a contract for $15 million, 10 guaranteed. I think it's a real shame that the Patriots, who already have an embarrassment of riches, stoop to the level of taking this guy on the team after he just publicly made a fool out of the other team he was with, their general manager, disrespecting him, threatening to hit him, and throwing out a racial slur. Again, not as bad as other racial slurs, but nonetheless, he did do that, and he's rewarded with a contract. I personally think every general manager and owner in the league should have said, we're not going to touch this guy this year. Let him sit a year, not get paid, and learn a lesson. And for that, I lose respect for the Patriots for taking him on, and I lose respect for Gruden for not backing up his general manager in the first place whenever this first all went down. I'm just a little bit put off by Antonio Brown, by the whole situation of Antonio Brown, and I'm put off by the Patriots. And I'll tell you, Sunday night was the first time in my life I have rooted for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Didn't work out for me, but I've never been a Patriot hater just because they're good. You've heard me say on this show many times, I don't hate Brady. I don't hate the Patriots for being good, but I am really, at this point, disgusted with how they just said, yeah, we'll go ahead and take him. And I didn't believe at first the whole conspiracy theories about he was just trying to work his way to the Patriots. But, man, there might have been something to that. You got Drew Rosenhaus working the phones all day. I think the dude really was forcing that release from Oakland as of Friday night and Saturday morning. So that's my take on Antonio Brown. And going forward, I think I'm done talking about that dude too.
Yeah, I think the goal for Brown was to leave Pittsburgh and somehow, some way get to Oakland. And like you said, from the helmet to the feet to the confrontations to everything, it was just more drama than what Oakland expected. Like, the classic case of you should know what you're getting into it before you get into it. You knew you was gonna get a guy that was a wide receiver, he was a prima donna, one of the best in the league when he got his stuff together. But when it's at this point to where you become a literal distraction, he buried his teammates. He buried his quarterback. He buried his coach. He was doing stuff in the locker room, going live and stuff. Like these kids of these generations, they go live and everything. They go live when they go in the bathroom to take a dump. They go live when they go to the restaurant and get an appetizer and can't tell what the damn. They go live when they're driving down the street. They go live. I'm tired of you little jackrabbits going live. But I digress. Let me get my self together.
But see, that's the thing. We knew who Antonio Brown was. We already know. That's how he is. But to enable him by giving him big money after he's just done all these ridiculous things, that to me is disappointing. I'm disappointed in Robert Kraft and Belichick for doing that.
I'm just saying,
because they're already the most talented team in the league. That's embarrassing that they would stoop to the level to reward this guy for the way he has acted, and he's always going to act that way. I mean, that's him.
I'm just saying, man. This is once again. I mean, just like some other circumstances and situations in society, it's a classic case of rewarding bad behavior.
Let me because I want to applaud Scottie D. That was very, very well said.
Yep.
On that standpoint, I'm going to do something really odd right here. I'm going to play devil's advocate real quick. When it came to Antonio Brown in Pittsburgh didn't want to pay him. Antonio Brown, et cetera, et cetera. The Patriots were already interested in Antonio Brown, but the Steelers did not want the Patriots to have Antonio Brown. But there are reports out there for that.
Yeah, that's correct. They didn't want to do business with them.
They did not want to do business. The Steelers did not want to do business with the Patriots. So when the trade went down and sent him to Oakland, now looking back, hindsight 2020, this was orchestrated from the very get-go. Antonio Brown did not want to be at Oakland, not in the slightest bit. He finagled his way into getting that guaranteed money contract, and then when things started going this way and that way, and when Oakland ended up finding him and voiding out that contract, that was pretty much you know what? let's go ahead and start making some things happen. I'm gonna tell you right now, I would not be surprised if we hear from the NFL front office that there was collusion involved. If there was tampering, I'm calling it right now that there was possible tampering, because you can't have these talks while a guy's under contract with another team. I guarantee you there's some type of tampering involved. And we'll get to that. They might not be able to prove it, but I promise you that we'll hear about it at some point in time.
Them negotiations and everything, and trying to get, and agent talks and everything, that's real. Hey man, you think the game on the field is a fight, those conversations between those agents and those teams and players and everything, and that's the fight within itself. And like you said, Be-Live, don't be surprised if there's tampering or collusion going on, because I'm like, okay, this guy, he's going to the Raiders. What in the hell does Oakland have going for them? What they're trending? Okay, maybe it's for the Las Vegas move. I get it, but then the dog and pony show, the Barnum and Bailey circus came together, and I'm just like, this ain't gonna work out. This just ain't gonna work out. John Gruden is pretty much, he's level-headed when they want to be. And I'm over here like, how long is this gonna last? And when I got the memo on my phone about Antonio Brown being released, all I could do was laugh.
Yep.
All I could do was laugh, because he got what he wanted and they gave it to him. So, it's going to be one of those wait and see ordeals, because he's not available to play till week 2 or after week 2?
I think this week he's back. He's good.
Yeah,
boy.
He'll be playing against the Miami Dolphins.
And with any luck at all, with any luck at all, he'll blow out his knee. Ooh, I shouldn't have said that out loud. But
No. It's one of those things where he has brought it upon himself. When it comes to the sport of football, we don't wish harm on anybody.
We don't.
Except for Antonio Brown at this point.
Right, exactly. Yep.
Yeah, because I don't care. He's brought this upon himself. The scrutiny. He's done this to himself. I have no sympathy for him whatsoever. I have no sympathy for the Patriots organization. Right now, I have a level of hatred for the New England Patriots that I had when they went 18-0 with Randy Moss and the Giants dethroned them. That was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, by the way, because, it just, like, I don't hate success, but there's certain ways of going about how they do things. And just, like, when it comes to, you know what? I'm going back to day 1 of the Sports Rose podcast, episode 1, penalty box, Robert Kraft. He is not a saint by any means. So you know what? This doesn't surprise me at all. Bill Belichick does not surprise me. Spygate, Deflategate. It does not surprise me when it comes to the Patriots. Yeah, I said it. I'll say it again. Throw the entire organization into the penalty box.
Wow.
Every single one of them. I don't care. They all going.
Wow. Ooh, whole organization. Penalty box, yes.
Yeah.
All over the box.
And honestly, I'm not against giving guys second chances. They took on Randy Moss and Corey Dillon and Josh Gordon, guys who have had some checkered past, and I'm okay with that. I really am. But I just think in this situation, for the situation was too hot for what he just did publicly out there in Oakland, and it's just the things he did. I think were too inexcusable to reward him the way they rewarded him, and that's the biggest problem I have with it.
As they say in the wrestling industry, that boy there, he got heat. He got all kind of heat, and it ain't good heat. It ain't good heat at all, man.
All right, let's move on from that clown.
Yeah. Let's move on from that clown. What we got going on here, fellas? Week 2 of college football. Let's see what we got going on here. We got some. We selected a few games because there's 11,000 college football games. If you're here to hear the results of the Sam Houston State and the Panhandle State game, this ain't the podcast you listen to. No, this ain't the one. All right, so one of the marquee matchups this week was LSU and Texas. Did you guys watch that game at all? Did anybody catch that game?
I watched a good bit of that game. And man, what a good game that turned out to be. You had the number 6 team against the number 9 team. And LSU, I guess, they have asserted themselves now because that's a big win over a good team. In the SEC, Alabama seems to rule the roost, but now we have big wins from LSU and Auburn in the first 2 weeks, and I think that makes it the whole conference more interesting. And again, I mean, and everyone looks at them as being superior. I know, apologies, ACC bro over there, but the SEC has just long been recognized as the top football conference, and I started thinking it might be getting away from that the last couple of years, but that's a big win for LSU over Texas, 45-38 on Saturday night. That was a heck of a ball game, back and forth kind of game.
Let me say this. Let me say this to that statement of the SEC.
Uh-oh.
I am so sick. I'm so sick of the SEC. It just means more. It just means more to the top 3 teams in the SEC. Alabama, LSU. Let's throw in Georgia. My bad. Alabama, LSU, Georgia, Auburn. All right, that right there is where the buck stops. Because Florida laid an egg week 1 against Miami. They look sloppy. They do not look like a contender. So it's one of those things. SEC, it just means more. It just is that top tier, and really, because there's a team that I didn't mention. We're about to talk about them in a second, because Texas A&M laid an egg. They're just like, come on, really?
Who'd they play?
Yeah, I mean, they played.
I forgot. Remind me.
Who did Texas A&M play this
Who did Texas A&M
Can you
play?
please refresh my memory on
Absolutely, I will. It was. I think they orange and purple team upstate of South Carolina, the reigning, defending, undisputed national champions, 2 out of the past 3 years, who have dominated the SEC the past 7 years. I mean, does that do I have to say it? CLEMSON.
Yeah, we get that. We know Clemson's the best team in the country, but that doesn't mean the rest of their conference is any good.
But here's the thing. But point me out though. Look at the SEC in its totality, not just the top tier teams. The SEC's
okay.
Not...
You just named 5 top tier teams in that conference. What about the totality of the ACC? Where are their top tier?
The thing,
the Tar Heels, Virginia Cavaliers, Boston College.
Well, here's the thing.
Florida State looks like hot garbage right now.
Because they are freaking hot
garbage.
Got
bombed off the field on Saturday.
Because they are hot garbage. And you know how much that pisses me off as an ACC fan? Like, the fact that you named North Carolina, Virginia, and Boston College first before you mention Miami, Virginia Tech, and Florida State, which are storied college football programs.
None of which have a win right now.
Yeah, because you know why? Because
you just made my point for me.
I know, because I'm pissed about that. because you know what I'm so sick and tired of hearing is the fact that Clemson doesn't play anybody. They have a weak schedule, so they're refreshed when they go into the playoff. I'm sorry that we just became that much better than everybody else. Kids on my freaking up. Guess what? Alabama dominates the freaking SEC, just like Clemson dominates the ACC. There's really not that much of a difference.
Except they dominate a conference that has good teams, and Clemson dominates a conference that has Pitt and Duke.
You said it. You said Pitt.
And Wake Forest.
Mike,
and NC
I'm
State.
Sorry.
I just listed the entire conference. Anything jumping out at you there?
But I mean, if you really want to talk about Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Vanderbilt, Tennessee.
No question. There's some
Tennessee. They lost to a 2-win Georgia State.
No doubt
FCS
about it. No
team.
question.
Are you kidding me?
No question about it. There's definitely some dogs in that conference too. But But I'm just saying, there's some also more nationally ranked good teams.
Here's the thing: the nationally ranked, based off of who?
Okay,
It's based off of a bias.
So you're right now objectively telling me the ACC has a better conference than the SEC.
No, I'm not saying that. Not by
okay.
no
Well, what are we arguing about?
We're arguing about the fact that the SEC as a whole isn't as great as people think it is. It's top heavy.
Okay, but right now they're the best conference in football.
Yeah, that's what everybody says.
All right. Well,
I'm just saying, North Carolina beat South Carolina. So guess what? That's another ACC win.
I'd be proud of that one. I'd be extra proud of that one. All right.
And North Carolina should be ranked right now. I think they will be. Return of the Mac. But hey, I'm just saying.
You just did. You dirty.
Yeah, I did it. Eddy Kool.
You dirty.
Can I make a left turn here for a second and tell you another fascinating game of the weekend? Michigan and Army. Because Army aired it out a grand total of 4 times and went into double overtime with Michigan. 4 times they threw the ball.
You know what? I appreciate that. I appreciate that left turn more than anything because you know what? Jim Harbaugh, Michigan, the entire program, joke, penalty box. Are you kidding me? And let me say this. I do not discount Army not one bit. They've been up and coming. Oh my God, I just got sick. Go Navy, beat Army. I'm sorry. Ooh, Max.
I'm about to say.
Ooh.
I'm about to say, didn't you throw up in your mouth a little bit?
Yeah.
I heard it.
Whoa. But yeah. Army has a program right now. They're doing some major things. Michigan, are you kidding me right now? If I see another recruitment video of y'all over in Italy and Australia and doing all this and have all the hope in the world and rank number 7 in the nation, you're not supposed to be struggling against Army going into overtime. And Army had that game won, by the way. But
yeah,
Michigan, joke. I'm saying it right now to one of my good friends that he also listens to the program, Mark Arnett. I'm so sorry. But this 8 in a row, y'all losing to Ohio State again. I'm sorry.
Another one.
I'm honest God, I'm rooting. I root for Michigan to beat Ohio State. For those that happen to catch my What Happened Wednesdays, you can tell my disdain for the Ohio State University. But come on, Michigan. Really, though? Really?
You know, B-Live, you should feel good at the end of this podcast. This is therapy because you're just dumping out all those negative feelings on college football. You should feel like a weight lifted off your shoulders after this show.
And you would think, though, you would really think, because my team is the reigning, defending, undisputed national champ, you would think that I would be on top of the world. But I get so still. Is there certain things that irk my nerves? Like, what does my team have to do? We dominated. I called it even during the game. Dominated Texas A&M, and they got that garbage touchdown at the end with 6 seconds to go, and it made it look like it was a little closer than what it was. No, Clemson dominated Texas A&M. SEC, who cut it out? Really? We've lost 2 games in the past 5 years against the SEC. Guess who those games were against? Alabama. Every other team that we faced in the SEC, dominated, beat down.
Bust them up.
I'm just saying.
All right.
We got Clemson number 1, Alabama number 2, Georgia number 3, LSU, and Oklahoma round up top 5, and the Ohio State at number 6. And North Carolina didn't crack the top 25, but a team that was named, the Virginia Cavaliers, 2-0. They cracked the top 25, coming in at number 25. And Maryland, they come in at number 21. All right, moving right along. That was a great segment. So, I mean, in case some of you might care about these other games, USC, they beat Stanford 45-20. Stanford was ranked. And Washington beats Cal by 1 point, 20-17. to 19. And ladies and gentlemen, that's it for week 2 of college football, aka the argumentative Baaaack and the cantankerous Scottie D college football section. All right, moving right along.
And now, our favorite part of the show, the choices of the voices.
Thank you once again, Button, for the intro to our favorite section. You heard a woman, like I said, this is our favorite section, the choices of the voices. And since, yes. And keep it in the theme of college football, Scottie D, what was the question?
This is a question I posed 2 weeks ago, so we've been a little bit quiet on Facebook getting answers this past week. But I asked 2 weeks ago, where would you like to go to see a college football game? Like what team's college stadium would you like to visit? And we did make the catch that you couldn't name your own favorite college football team. And some of the answers were pretty cool because they were some were going with like rivalry style games and that sort of thing. So this was a pretty nice topic to hear back from you guys on.
All right, so let's get right into the choices of the voices, shall we? Leslie Cox, hello Leslie. She says Gaylord Family Oklahoma Memorial Stadium. Stadium. Yep, Sooner. Boomer Sooner of the alma mater to, well, not the alma mater, but one of their famous fans. Good old JR, AEW commentator, Boomer Sooner. Let's see. Rodney. Once again, Rodney, we apologize about them Dolphins, man, but it is what it is. Rodney said Notre Dame Stadium just to have a few beers and chant Rudy, Rudy, Rudy.
Yeah, man. Touchdown Jesus, gold helmets. I think that'd be a fun atmosphere to visit Notre Dame. I am not a Notre Dame fan by any means, but I could see how that would be a cool place to go and see a college football game.
And that'd be a great place, too. Martin Tracy, he said, the University of Hawaii.
Didn't Trey Dizzle also pick that?
Anytime you go to Hawaii is a good time. I'm just saying, it's freaking Hawaii. How can you not go wrong? And then Martin,
I think they kind of circumvented the spirit of the question because they want to go to Hawaii.
Yeah. And they want
answer. I can't blame you. I can't hate on you for that.
And they want us.
I'd love to go to Hawaii too.
And they want us to pay for it. Don't know how.
That's right.
But they want to pay for it. Maybe
someday, boys.
Yeah, it'll happen. One thing I do is keep chipping. Hey, this is episode 25. I almost said 26, but episode 25. But we're getting there.
And we'll never forget where we came from. So, hey, we make it. You guys will make it too. I promise you that.
Exactly. Hey, matter of fact, I'll mention that later. Then Martin Tracy also said the University of Maine. Don't know why, but I mean, it's somewhere different. I mean,
he's a New Englander. That's
yeah.
The reason why
awesome up there.
The reason why he said the University of Maine is because pot is legal in Maine. And Ozzy is playing there in probably his last tour, but who knows? He's like Keith Richards. You don't want him on your death pool.
No.
I should have said, I'm reading this from, I should have said 3 things. Lobster rolls.
Yeah.
Whoo. Hey, living in the New England area, those things are the truth.
I'll go to Maine. I'll go watch a game in Maine.
And
he just sold me on that.
And just to clarify, when Eddy Kool, the head of creative, when he said truth, that is TROOF. Truth.
Yep, it is the whole truth. Those lobster rolls are the truth, and the New England seafood chowder clam. The clam chowder is good, but if you can get around the right person and they know how to make that seafood chowder, move along because I'm getting hungry. Terrible. Pete Talinsky said, it's nothing like Beaver Stadium with 110,000 strong. That's a lot of people in the building making a lot of noise. But, of course, he also picked Death Valley, the real Death Valley, located in Clemson, South Carolina.
The real. I appreciate that more than anything. I'm actually going to segue into another answer. Kirk Jennings said he would like to go to LSU.
I think that's a great answer.
That is a great answer, and I want to segue into what you were saying about Clemson's Death Valley, DEATH, California Desert, Death Valley, Howard's Rock. LSU is Death Valley, but it was misspelled because it was originally Death, DEAF Valley, because it was so loud at LSU Stadium, 105 strong, 105,000 strong. It was so loud in there that a reporter said that they were going deaf, DEAF, and somebody misspelled it. It's like, oh my God, this is Death Valley. Do your research.
Is that true?
Yes, that is very true.
I never knew that.
Yeah, that is very true. LSU would be a great. I mean, and that will happen because Clemson LSU does have a home and home series. I believe it's 2025 and 2026. Mm-hmm. So that will be. I'm looking forward to that.
Gotta be there. Yeah.
So to Kirk Jennings, definitely shout out to him. Pete, terrible Pete, absolutely. Thank you for the shout out to the greatest stadium. I digress. Go ahead, Eddy Kool. Get somebody up. You already know.
I appreciate the history lesson because I had no idea that was the original inclination of the Death Valley in at LSU. Mm-hmm. Mike Davis said IUP and Cal U of PA. Scottie D, that's a little close to home to you, sir.
Cal UPA, that's my alma mater. So that was I appreciate the shout out, Mike, because I actually have been to both of those places to watch football. So it's nothing like going to see Clemson at home for sure, but it's kind of nice thinking about home. So thanks, Mike. I appreciate that.
Nothing wrong with that. And as you said, Trey Duke and Kirk Jennings had that too. Oh, Uncle Max, there you go, Uncle Max. He said Mishi Stadium, if I pronounce it right. Legendary game. He go there for traditional purpose. The Army and Navy games were played there in Mish Stadium. I don't know what that is, but Uncle Max might know what it is.
Well, Michigan Stadium is the home stadium for the military academy, the Army Black Knights. That's where they play their home games. Now, the Army-Navy game actually is not played there. The Army-Navy game is played at a neutral site. Okay. I did a little research on that because from as far as I can remember, because I actually had the luxury of being at the 2000 and the 2001 Army-Navy game. I was actually on the Naval Academy Color Guard. I got to stand on the 50-yard line for those games. 80,000 strong. I'm on the 50-yard line, by the way. So that was freaking phenomenal. I cried.
Nice.
Yeah, I literally cried during the national anthem because it was the most beautiful, peaceful, amazing. I'm talking flyover and all of that. But yeah, the Army-Navy game is it's a neutral site. 2000 was in Baltimore. 2001 was in Philadelphia, the old Veterans Stadium that year. But yeah, but the Army-Navy game is just amazing to be a part of. I've actually done that, and that is literally one of the best because on top of that, the entire Brigade of Midshipmen, the Naval Academy, and the entire all of the Army cadets, they're on the field. They march on the field and everything. There's all the camaraderie after the game. Both schools play their alma mater, their theme song, Navy Blue and Gold. I can't remember the Army one right now, but it's just and everybody pays respect at the end of the game and everything. It's such a storied rivalry, and it is one of the best games. It is honestly the best game to go to outside of the national championship. It's a beautiful sight. So, Uncle Max, I definitely appreciate that. Brought up a lot of memories. Love it, love it, love it.
Yeah, we can tell. I even when I would watch it on TV, I'm like, this is a spectacle. I damn near forget about the football game. Just to see, the cadets on one side and the midshipmen on the other, and just everybody just all in one area together, and the Army versus Navy, and
60 minutes of handoffs.
Yeah, 60 minutes of handoffs, 5 completed passes. I'm like,
Okay.
so anybody gonna throw the ball? Okay, cool. We'll run the wing tee till we can't run it no more.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw one last thing because this is because I'm well stored in this subject. The reason why Army and Navy have the offenses that they do is because of the physical regimen that the cadets and the midshipmen have to go through. You cannot be a 350-pound lineman at Army or Navy. So guess what? Most teams that they face, the defensive lines are that much bigger. So they have to run option, triple option, wing T and stuff like that because you don't have time to set back in a pocket because the guys are just that much smaller. Your linemen at Army
That's
and
very
Navy.
valid point.
Yeah. You get linemen at Army and Navy probably around 225, 250, possibly 275. You can't even be.
How about an occasional halfback pass or something?
Halfback option, you know.
Something.
But yeah, that's the reasoning behind it because at the end of the day, every midshipman has to run a 10 well, this was 18 years ago. It probably has changed, but when I was there, you had to run a mile and a half in 10 minutes and 30 seconds. And that's not an easy task. That's a 6-minute mile.
So these guys are conditioned to the guild.
Yeah. That's one of those things. You can't be 350 pounds and go to the service academies. So that's why they run those the plays that they do because they just don't have time in the pocket to run traditional or spread out offenses like other schools do. So that's why you have those. It is what it is.
Fair enough.
All right.
Fair enough.
Let's give it up to our resident historian, the almighty Baaaack, for giving us a history lesson. No. Baaaack, that's good because like Scott said, we've always wondered how ain't nobody gonna throw the ball. What's going on? And now we know the reason why the way things are. So shout out Baaaack. The more you know. I hope we don't get hit with any copyright infringement, but it's apropos for the situation. It's apropos for the situation. Let's see. And Scott Heinerman, he said Texas for the Red River. One more time. Outtakes. Scott Heinerman said Texas for the Red River rivalry. Try saying that 5 times fast.
You cannot.
No.
Good answer. Good answers all the way around for
that's a good answer. Good answer. Scottie D, what's your choice?
I narrowed it down, and Baaaack, you're gonna hate this, but I was narrowing it down because to Alabama being one of my choices because Alabama is all passion for their college football team. There's no pro team or other real sports around that if you live in Alabama, man, you're all in on your college football teams, and I think it's cool watching the school and the students of the school roll tide and all that stuff, but I end up going Michigan just because it's the big house. It's the biggest college football stadium we have, right, Eddie? Didn't we confirm that last weekend? We looked that up. That
yes,
Michigan is home to the highest seated capacity stadium in the United States, and I there's just something about the Michigan tradition that I like. I mean, I'm not really a Michigan fan or an Alabama fan, but I just think either of those atmospheres would be really cool to be a part of, especially if Ohio State's visiting Michigan. I bet that I think it would just be an electric atmosphere up there. And same thing if you're in Alabama and Auburn's in town. I think it'd be just electric, and I'd love to be a part of that at some point.
Yes, it says it is the largest stadium in the United States. And it says it is the second largest stadium in the world and 34th largest sports venue. It can hold, its official capacity is 107,601, but it has held up to 115,000.
Oh yeah,
that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people in one place, man. There's a lot. That's a couple of small, suburban communities and stuff like that. It's all mass. That's nuts. That's a lot of places. Like Williams-Brice only holds 82,000, 75, 82,000. Yeah, that's it. And some NFL stadiums don't hold that unless it's the AT&T stadium. But wow, that's big. The Big House in Michigan is definitely an atmospheric experience. The people of Ohio don't think that, but it is what it is. They got the shoe. the shoe. The shoe's nice though.
Yeah.
The
Eli,
shoe's
I can't
nice.
wait to hear what you picked here.
Mine is an interesting take, but it's more or less the entrance, the beginning of the hype, and outside of Clemson, of course, we had to steer away, but no, honestly, Virginia Tech,
Okay.
Blacksburg, Virginia, Enter Sandman, Metallica. Dude, I get goosebumps watching the beginning of a Virginia Tech game. Like, they go absolutely nuts. And, like, that's something I have not experienced yet. Like, I would like to be there for that game. Another stadium that I haven't been to the stadium, but I've been in the city surrounding it for college football weekend, actually is Tennessee, Knoxville, Tennessee. Good old Rocky Top. When I tell you that city is absolute bananas during the college football weekend, like it was, I feared for my life.
Yeah.
I was at a hip hop nightclub Friday night before my home Tennessee game. The hip hop beats, jump, and everything. DJ cuts the music and blares Rocky Top, Tennessee, and I'm telling you, the club went. I ducked for cover, but like I said, I digress a little bit. Virginia Tech, Enter Sandman, Metallica, that's
an electric atmosphere there too. That's cool.
Oh yeah.
That was definitely one I want to experience for myself. Eddy Kool, what you got for us?
You know what? Other than Williams-Brice, which I've had the privilege to attend, and I've actually, I haven't been inside it, but I've been near the Horseshoe at Ohio State. But one stadium that I just want to attend just to see what it's all about. Boise State, where the Broncos play. That stadium, the Blue Turf.
Blue Turf.
Smurf Turf.
The Smurf Turf. Yeah, I just want to see what it's all about. Like how, just to look at like the psychological effect, just to see how it plays on the opposing team, because growing up in the South, green grass, playing football year round, playing football. And then to go to Boise, Idaho, another part of the country where, there's no professional sports teams and they don't really have anything, to rally around except for that college team. And to see that, it's like, man, it's not a large stadium, like a large, like Clemson, like South Carolina, hell, even, like you said, Blacksburg, Virginia. It's not even a large stadium. It's just an atmospheric presence, aesthetics. Just see this blue turf and just kind of just watch football. Like, they are really playing on blue turf. Now think about it. You walking from, I don't know, San Jose State where the grass is green all the time, and then you step field on that blue turf and you just like,
what is going?
Yeah, like what in the hell is going? Albertson Stadium. That's the name of it, Albertson Stadium. And you like, what in the hell is going? It's a whole lot of blue. What the blue? What is this? like you're already throwing off your game because it's like, hey, this is a blue stadium, and it's something. I'm like, when it's all said and done, I want to be like, you know what? I went there, and it was an experience like no other. Crazy, man.
That's a good call. Fair enough. I like it.
Yeah, Albertson Stadium. All right, so now that we got those out the way, we want to give a shout out to Uncle Max, Scott, Kurt, Trey, Mike, Terrible Pete, Martin Tracy, Rodney, and Leslie Cox for their participation in a prolonged, extended version of Choices of the Voices. We're going to throw it to you, Scottie D. What's the question for next week's show?
Ironically, here's the question, because I actually came up with this question about 2 weeks ago, before Antonio Brown started. He's always been doing this thing. Anyway,
yeah.
What player on your favorite NFL team did you either really want to get off of your team, or do you currently want to see just leave your squad? Somebody that plays for your team that you can't stand. the proverbial D-bag of the organization? Who would you like to just be off your team, or someone in the past that you just said, I couldn't stand that guy. I'm glad he's not on my squad anymore. So we're looking for your favorite NFL team's villain.
Yeah. Heels. He's a heel.
The heel
villain.
turn. Yeah, the heel.
Big heel turn. Shout out to Sasha Banks for finally making that doggone heel turn. Yeah, Scottie D has been predicting for the past 2 years. 2 years. All right, and moving right along, we have the pepper segment of the show. You know how we do it. 3 topics. We talk about it. We throw the ball around each other, and we make sure that we're coordinated enough not to hit each other in the head. And with that being said, I'll go first with my first pepper point. Number 1, marque, numero uno. My first pepper point goes out to Delanie Walker of the Tennessee Titans. Last year during week 1 of the NFL season, he suffered a dislocated ankle and was unable to come back for the rest of the season because that's a debilitating injury. You need your feet, and if you ain't got your feet, you ain't got nothing in the sport of football. So with that being said, he came back this week looking brand new as ever, running around, catching passes all over the place. And by the way, he's 35 years old. Some people see that as old, but hey, he looks bigger, stronger, faster, and better than ever. He had 5 receptions for 55 yards and 2 TDs. So shout out to Delanie Walker for coming back in big style and big fashion. Over to you, Scottie D.
All right, this past weekend, Khabib Nurmagomedov defeated a despondent Dustin Poirier with a 3rd-round submission. He's next going to fight Tony Ferguson, the fight that I truly am dying to see, and I've been wanting to see him fight Tony Ferguson for a while. He said he will fight Conor McGregor, but he'll do that on the street. He's not getting back in the cage with him because he doesn't think Conor deserves to get paid. Having said that, Jorge Masvidal signed to fight Nate Diaz. He didn't take my advice to wait for the champion of or to get the next title shot. He decided he's going to fight Nate Diaz in Madison Square Garden in November, and man, I want to close my eyes and wake up ready to watch that fight. I can't wait to see that one. So, little UFC action going on this weekend. Shout out to the UFC, and over to you, B Live.
Nice. I honestly, I believe November 2nd for that fight, correct?
Yeah.
Man, I cannot wait.
Man.
I need to request that day off. That actually has to happen.
It's a couple days for my birthday.
Nice. So, college football, there's so much to talk about, like so many different stories and everything. We can't cover it all. But man, what is going on in College Park, Maryland? Are you kidding me? The Terrapins have amassed 142 points in 2 games. 2 games, mind you. Let me break down the math for you if I could. That is 20 touchdowns in
That's
2
a lot of
games.
TDs.
Yeah.
20 in 2 games. The first game was against Howard where they blanked them 79-0, but then faced a ranked Syracuse team. Scottie D, don't even say it about the ACC. Hush your face.
I'm sitting on the perch over
All
here.
right, I felt you. I felt a disturbance in the force. But yes, Maryland defeats Syracuse 63-20, and they could have scored more because they were every time they touched the ball, they were scoring. It was incredible sight to see. So can Maryland throw a little monkey wrench in the Big Ten plans of the Ohio States and the Michigans and the Michigan States and the Northwesterns and the Iowas? Don't sleep on Maryland. Here you go, Eddy Kool. There's the ball. Have at it.
And if they do so, it's about time, Maryland. Damn. It's about damn time. About time, because ever since they came to the Big Ten, they've been nothing but a doormat. My second pepper point goes out to Josh Gordon. You know what? You listeners, you know how we feel about New England Patriots. But I will say this, though. It's just great to see Josh Gordon on the field playing football again and actually being good. This guy's good when he's on the field. But he's suspended on multiple occasions. But I guess, this time he's like, you know what? I'm going to make it right. I'm going to get it together. I got an all-world quarterback. What more could I ask for? Could he have a Super Bowl ring by the end of the year? Who knows? So shout out for Josh Gordon for getting his life together and going back to playing the wonderful sport of football. Over to you, Scottie D.
Yeah, we are all in on football right now, and I feel like we're kind of ignoring baseball season a little bit, and that's all right. We're gonna we're coming down the stretch here of a long season, getting into the postseason, so we'll be talking a little bit more baseball coming up here. But the A's, Indians, and Rays still right now competing for the wild card spot. Those three teams, and currently the Red Sox, as of this broadcast, are like 8 games back of being in, pretty much ensuring that the time has run out on them for the season. And just this weekend, they fired Dave Dombrowski, who was their general manager, who was assigned to put together the championship team of a year ago. And I guess the receipts come due for him already. He signed David Price, Chris Sale, J.D. Martinez, all the big contracts. And, man, it looks like Boston suddenly went from champs to having a little bit of problem. And I just want to say that I would love to look forward to living in a world where the Red Sox suck. Over to you, B Live.
Wow.
Oh, man.
All right. As Scottie D also said, we miss other sports because it is football season. I don't apologize for that at all. But we did come across yet another major final for Serena Williams in tennis. And for the 4th straight major, Serena Williams falls to an opponent. She is one major win away from tying the all-time record.
The final pepper point goes out to Coastal Carolina University, the mighty Chanticleers, the football team, that is. They're near and dear to my heart because they are out of my home state of South Carolina, and they haven't been around for a long time. They're still in their teens right now, but they've been very successful over the past, 7, 8, 9 years. They defeated the Kansas Jayhawks, coached by Les Miles. Yep, you heard me. They defeated the University of Kansas in Kansas by the score of 12-7, and is their first ever victory against a school from a Power 5 conference. So shout out to the Chanticleers of Coastal Carolina University. Over to you, Scottie D.
All right, shout out to the Chanticleers. All right, my final point, I just wanted to remind everyone, we were coming up on the 1-year anniversary of a very historic day in the NFL, September 16th, 2018. That was the day that Vontae Davis of the Buffalo Bills retired at halftime. A shining moment in Buffalo Bills history. They were playing the Chargers that day, and in the locker room at halftime, he said, "You know what? That's it. I had enough. Calling it a career. I am out. I'll watch the rest of this on my flat screen." So I just thought that was a fun reminder, because I had never seen or heard of anybody doing anything like that before, and probably never will again. So shout out to Vontae Davis on my final pepper point this day.
That's crazy. In the middle of the season, you throw your hands up and say, I'm done. I don't want to do now. I don't want no more. I don't want nothing to do with this. I'm ready to go. Bye. Yeah, so Vontae Davis leaves literally on his terms.
And for my third and final pepper point, NFL, get rid of the ties. Stop it. Cut it out. I can't do this anymore. 75 minutes, 4 quarters, and full overtime for a game to end up no decision. Can't do it. Only sport that does that anymore. But college football doesn't even do it. Change it up. It's got to happen. Hopefully I'm still alive in my suicide pool because I picked Detroit. Game ended in a tie. I don't even know exactly how that works out. Find out. With that being said, again, NFL, get rid of the ties. That's it. I'm out. It's over with.
All right, that being said, that's another episode of the Sports Bros Podcast in the books for you. And we are glad to be back after Dorian, travels, technical issues, and everything. We hope you had a wonderful and safe Labor Day weekend. And also to those that were affected by Hurricane Dorian, our thoughts, our prayers are with you. Yes, they are, because on a local level, a tornado did touch down, which is a rarity in that area, and it did some damage. There was some flooding, but to those that are you didn't lose any life, that's great. You probably had some damage to your house and your cars and everything, but you're here. That's what's important. So our thoughts and prayers go out to you. All right, Scottie D, where can they reach you?
I'll be, as usual, at the Beast Ninja on 501 in Myrtle Beach. Love to have you come in and try out the obstacle course training. And check me out on Facebook, Donnelly, Scott Donnelly. And I'll look forward to being back with you all next week. Thanks for tuning in.
That's it. And the Almighty Be Live, where can they reach you?
Yes, sir. You can find me, your boy, the Almighty Be Live, on Instagram and Twitter with the handle This Be Your Boy Be Live, no I at the beginning. So THSBEYABOYBLIVE. Yes, sir. You can also find us, the Sports Bros Podcast, at on Instagram and Twitter. Instagram is Sports Bros Podcast. Twitter is Sports Bros PCast. Check us out on YouTube. I need to get caught up on that. Check us out on our Facebook like page. Check your boy out every Wednesday with video episodes of What Happened Wednesdays. Man, love it. Gonna keep coming to you every single week. Yes, sir.
And of course, you can reach me, Eddy Kool, the HOC, on Facebook. Also, the Sports Bros Podcast Facebook like page, as well as the Instagram page, the WordPress page, the YouTube channel. We're everywhere. We are everywhere. And that being said, there's another episode of the Sports Bros Podcast in the books. And in closing, do something nice for yourself. And if you can, do something nice for someone else. They'll greatly appreciate it. We are the Sports Bros. Bye-bye.
Yes, sir.